Hello and welcome back. We're here with some breaking news. Apparently, a SWAT team has been assembled in the red team area, and we're going to get an update on some arrests. Over to Charlie in the red zone area. Charlie, what's happening?
Thanks, Paul. I'm here with local law enforcement. They are currently trying to take a SWAT team. They have a SWAT team coming in to take a slew of the red team. Unfortunately, it is a hot zone. They are firing. They're coming in hot. Oh my God, it's like Ruby Ridge. They've made a break for it. They have left the perimeter. I believe we now are having them. We have one person at the right, and now they're beginning to escort him. Sir, do you have anything to say as you're being escorted away?
They don't have it. They have a fourth degree misdemeanor offense. They have no intent to commit theft or anything else, so good luck in court.
Do you intend to fight this in court?
Yeah.
And what is your name?
Nice try.
All right, so I believe the manhunt is still on for the folks that are going outside the perimeter, guys, but back to you.
Wow. Thanks, Charlie. Did he say his name was Nice Try?
I think he did. I'm surprised he wasn't trying to cover his head in shame.
Yes. That's very
well,
interesting.
he should try it because apparently it's practice that he needs whenever he's breaking into buildings.
Sometimes I often wonder what a geek SWAT team would look like.
I think now we know.
With Nerf guns, now we all know.
It's like some kind of geek posse.
Yes. Yes. Excellent. Well, that was fun.
That was interesting. Do you think that it was okay that the children saw that?
I know.
I think that they'd be a bit disturbed. So how many people are in the process of being arrested? Do we have any word on that at all right now?
I'm not sure. I'm being told 3. Someone's holding up the number 3. Three people
were arrested so far, and I know that they were trying desperately to get them to try and roll over on the other people, like Lutzek and Subu and all those guys did.
Yes, yes.
So I think it's demo time. I think it's time for us to switch places. Actually.
Oh yes, let's switch places and let John do a demo. John, what are you going to be demoing for us today?
Well, one of the things that we want to kind of show people is exactly how easy it is to exploit some computer systems. So yesterday, Paul broke his chair.
No, I broke my microphone.
You broke your microphone again. So yesterday, Paul went through and demonstrated exactly how easy it was to exploit a computer system with a remote exploit. Now, this is very different than what I'm going to show now. With a remote exploit, you have a vulnerability, you send malicious packets to the system, and you somehow get access to that computer. It could be something as simple as getting shell, it could be something as complicated as installing a rootkit. There's a variety of different options that can be done. So today I'm going to demonstrate some client-side attacks, and specifically, I'm going to be showing you the Social Engineering Toolkit by David Kennedy, or SecManiac, the guy that runs DerbyCon, which is one of our all-time favorite security conferences. So now if we could switch over to my computer, that would be super cool. Let's see if we can get that up for you guys. Can we get that up? Let's see. Trying to bring it over. There we go. Let me see if zooming works. It does. Awesome. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to set up the attack. And one of the things that I want people to understand is that this stuff is very easy to do. Let me invert the colors really quick so you can see Social Engineering Toolkit by David Kennedy and his crew. And a lot of people think that you got to go through, you got to compile a whole bunch of code. It's very, very difficult. In fact, it's not very hard at all. In fact, it's as easy as being able to type in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on your computer system. So let's go through and let's get started. The first menu that pops up gives you a series of options as far as how you can go about attacking a target computer system. You can do spear phishing attack vectors, website attack vectors, infectious media generators. This is how you would make an infected USB stick or a CD-ROM. Make it so if somebody simply puts that into their computer system, they will be compromised. We can also...
John, do you think that was likely what the red team was using to infect the systems when they had physical access to them?
Very, very possible. Very possible. One of the payloads that's in there, if we can come back to the screen, is an Arduino-based attack vector. You can do Teensy as well, so you can actually make malicious USB sticks, exactly as you mentioned. So most likely last night, that was something that they were doing.
Did you just call me Teensy?
Yes, I did.
What is Teensy?
It's our pet name. Wasn't going to say safe word. All right, so now if we come back to my screen, you can see that we have a number of different options here. And I went with website attack vectors, which is option number 2. It says this option has an attack module that allows you to go through and use a Java applet attack, browser exploit, credential harvester, tab napping. We're going to be demonstrating a number of these different options as we progress throughout today. But for this section, I'm going to be focusing in on the Java applet attack method because that is one of the ones that we use probably the most heavily in our penetration tests because it simply works. So now I choose option 1. Then it opens up and it gives me a series of options on how I can create the website. I can do web templates, site cloner, custom import. It does a very good job of cloning a target website for the purposes of making the website look very familiar to the target organization. However, for this situation, because I'm not really connected to any networks because I don't trust the red team, I'm going to do web templates. It asks me for my IP address for the reverse connections coming back to me, and then it asks me what type of template would you like to work with. One is Java required, Gmail, Google, Facebook, and Twitter, and I'm willing to bet that a lot of our listeners probably use some of those sites at some point in their lives on a regular basis. So I'm going to choose template 3 for Google on this one. Then it injects Java applet into the cloned website, and then it gives you the option of the payload. Now, for those of you that are new to this, students that are just getting involved in computer security, an exploit and a payload are different from each other. A payload is what happens after you exploit a computer system, and an exploit is what happens when you trigger a vulnerable condition. So tying it in with what you were covering yesterday, Tenable's Nessus security scanner will go through and identify vulnerabilities in the code, and an exploit will take advantage of that particular vulnerability, and then something else happens. Getting shell, adding a user, that would be the payload. One of my favorite payloads here is reverse TCP Meterpreter. It's an outstanding payload, and I'll show you what that does here in a second. And then bypassing antivirus. A lot of people are confused exactly how is it that bad guys bypass AV? Well, it's very simple. There's a number of different types of encodings. And if you want kind of a rough idea of how an encoder works, something as simple as looking at math, okay? If you look at your computer,
math is hard.
Math is hard, but this math is easy. Yeah. So if you look at your computer system, there's a number of things at the CPU level that relate specifically to math and movement. So a very, very simple way of changing what an AV signature looks for is something as simple as 1 + 1. On your computer system, you can have code that says 1 + 1, but you can also do something like 1 - a -1. Functionally, they're equivalent. They're actually the exact same size on your computer system, but simply scrambling and doing tricks like that, and a little bit more complicated, trust me, is some of the things that we can do to bypass antivirus engines.
I'm still trying to work out 1 - 1.
1 minus a -1. 1 minus a -1.
I think I need a pen. I need to carry the 2.
Carry the 2.
I got it. I got it now. Okay.
It's not eigenvector values. All right. And then we're going to do backdoored executable. We're going to insert our malware into an executable that's known to be good. In this situation, it's Apache Bench, kind of sticking with the Apache theme that Paul started yesterday. Now, it goes through, it creates the code, creates the malicious executable, backdoors the legitimate executable to bypass AV, and then it starts the web server on my computer system here. Now it starts up the Metasploit framework. Once Metasploit is up and running, it's awesome ASCII art. It's not as cool as the cow, though. No. I like the cow even better. Now we've got Metasploit up and running, and then all I would need to do is have my target system serve to the victim computer system, and this is what I have here.
In the social engineering toolkit, you created a website which is going to host some malicious code.
Absolutely.
Now, which malicious code are you planning to host on this system? Is it the JavaScript?
We are going to be using Java payload to insert the Meterpreter. Okay. And by the way, I just want to let you guys know that, yes, Symantec is, in fact, running on this computer system. I see it there, yes. So we have AV.
It says something like this computer is protected from any and all attacks.
This computer is protected against attacks. And we love Symantec. They're good friends of ours because we're pen testers. So Symantec AV is running on this computer system, but I'm kind of like Julia Childs. I've already exploited the box, and over here I can say, hello, we have a reverse shell on the box. Now,
when did the exploit happen, John? It happened already?
Yeah, I set it up because it takes a little while.
Well,
okay. I set it up, and I'm going to demonstrate an exploit on my Mac here next. Okay. I'll do that one running live. So now I have a session available on my system, so I can list out those sessions. I have 2 sessions with the system I just compromised, just in case one dies. I'm going to do session --I1. And now I am on that computer system. And I can look at the processes that are running on that computer system. I can look at the file system where I'm at as well. So there's a number of really cool things that I can do. I have access. Now, if
Can you
get
change their background to Google image search John Strand?
No, I'm not going to change their background to Joe. I could, but I'm not going to.
Just checking.
So I want to also kind of show something that you showed yesterday. You showed privilege escalation
Yes.
and how important
Well,
that
no,
is
I
for
didn't.
the attacker.
I didn't show privilege escalation.
You didn't. That's right, because
No.
Core wasn't working for
Yeah,
us.
you're going to show that
I'm going
now.
to show that right now.
Excellent.
So you can see here, my username is Windows, the system name, and John Strand 2. If I do get system, Metasploit is going to go through and try a number of different privilege escalation techniques in order to get me system-level privileges. Now, why would I be interested in
That's
having
like magic.
system-level privileges? It is like magic, absolutely. Now, why would an attacker be interested in system-level privileges? This is what we were talking about yesterday. Attackers are interested in system-level privileges because they really, really want to pivot. They want to do things like dump password hashes. So if I do hash dump, oh, the parameter is not correct. We've got to migrate into another process. We can mess around with that a little bit later. I can also do things like shell. I've dropped into a full shell on the computer system.
And that's a full shell, not
Yep.
not a terminal or a.
This is, in fact,
rather-
a full shell.
a full shell.
Now, if I actually go through and do x colon,
You mean it's a terminal, not a shell?
this is actually a shell. So
Oh,
some things
okay.
like edit and
So
type
this is the
will
one that,
Yep.
the bad.
This is
Well,
the bad
good,
one.
but not great. Yeah.
Kind of, it's all right. So now, if I CD into the X drive, this actually is a mounted share on my Mac computer system. So it's kind of a roundabout lame way of hacking my Mac. So let's go through and actually exploit my Macintosh right now. So a lot of people have the mistaken assumption that they are perfectly safe if they're using a Mac. They believe that the all-powerful aluminum body of their computer system will protect them, and the power of Steve Jobs will protect them
But
from never getting compromised.
Macs don't get viruses.
No, they don't. Unless, of course,
You
they
click
do.
allow right there.
Yeah, click allow. I'm going to come back to that here in a second. So this is a Java applet pop-up. It's basically saying the digital signature cannot be verified. Now, we can make that go away. If you buy a $166 digital code signing certificate, this won't happen. So we don't use that for demos. We use that for a pen test. Now, if we serve to the website where the malware is triggered, something is happening in the background. So what happened to my Mac? Well, let's go back and let's take a look here. If I cancel this out, still, go away, I don't like you anymore.
It keeps asking you.
Yeah, until you make it go away. That's actually a configuration setting in the social engineering toolkit to have it keep on trying.
Oh, I see.
So you can see that we have a session that's just started up with my Mac computer system, and so far, it's dumping out development tools, airport, what applications are installed.
Yeah, see, it's enumerating. So there's a
Bluetooth.
bunch of scripts that run once
Yep.
you gain access to the system
Post
automatically.
exploitation scripts. Notice it's
Are
going
those
through.
all
and it's-
Carlos's Perez?
Yes, they are. Absolutely.
scripts?
Carlos Perez from Paul.com Security Weekly. I'm a fan. So now it's going through and it's dumping all of these really sensitive files off of my computer system, which is, of course, a Mac. And if I do something like ID, let's Control-Z this shell, and Control-Z my Meterpreter session on my Windows system, go Sessions-L, you can see that we have a shell with OSX there in Session 3. Sessions I3, go back here real quick. Dumped all kinds of nasty stuff, but if you look closely, it just completely blew up, which happens a lot. And if you've noticed, the red team spends a lot of time trying to rectify what's going on. But it dumped a number of different really sensitive things. Like, for example, it dumped all of the wireless access points I've joined. Like the speaker room at Sans speaker. It actually dropped some of those keys associated with those as well, so they can be cracked too.
Very
so
nice.
a lot of really cool things, and all of this data, just because my session died, doesn't mean that I'm done.
Stores it in a database.
It stores it in a file. So if we do if we cd into ./MSF4, oh, I got to go to the right directory. So if we do ls cd /.MSF4, we go into the logs directory. ls, we go into post. ls, enum. Got it. We're killing it here. Yep, I will here in just a second. Let's scroll in. Guys, is that better for you guys? Can you guys see that better? There we go. So notice that it dumped down at, this was an older one. It dumped airport.txt, development tools. If we go into the other directory, And we go into, what's the other one, 10. We have a whole bunch more files, including a handy-dandy screenshot. See if we can get Firefox to start on this one. But I was able to open all my TCP connections, USB. It was also able to grab a screenshot, which is me demonstrating the social engineering tool.
Very nice, John.
All right. And we are going to throw it down to Charlie in the blue team area. Charlie, what's up down there?
Hi, guys. I'm down here with Jim, the captain of the West Virginia University team. Jim, thanks for coming down.
Thank you.
Now, Jim, one of the unique challenges about CCDC is how we really try and put you in the business environment. And so you had an interview with the CEO earlier today, correct?
Yes, I did.
Tell me a little bit, how'd that feel?
Basically, he saw our report, saw that we were having difficulties. He wasn't happy with how things been going. He asked me a few questions on why it's that way. I explained to him that we had trouble out of the gate and how we're overcoming it. He then wanted to see what my direction was for this day. I told him my plans, and he liked them. He now wants to see results. And about 3 hours from now, he wants to see what we have, where we're at, and also what memos I've done for him.
Okay, now I'm just curious. Was anything in that interaction different from what you would? Were you kind of just caught off guard by any of his requests?
Not really. They're all pretty standard for from a business level.
Did you think was he come across cool, level-headed, or very angry?
Annoyed. You can tell he wasn't happy, but he wasn't angry yet.
And did you have any trouble like translating your problems into terms that he would follow?
A little bit. I said one thing about one service that he didn't understand, but that was quickly resolved.
So now another thing that I know the CEO is very concerned about is we've been keeping track of the zombie infection / casualty rates. Had he said anything about your performance on that?
Not particularly, but he has indicated that he wants things to change around, wants to turn around, and which we're trying to do right now.
And how do you feel your performance has been in helping to cure those patients?
It's getting better. We're starting to get there.
Do you have any cured yet?
Not this time.
So you're just working to get them trying to start getting them better, but have you lost any patients?
0 deaths, a lot of mutations and infections.
Now, I'm curious, so now you're about a day and a half into this event. What was the one thing that you were expecting, just couldn't expect when you got out here?
The craziness, the stress level. It's a good analogy is preparing for a football game, going in there and not being able to recreate that crowd. And that's what we're having issues with right now. We're not able to recreate the same atmosphere.
So how are you planning to overcome that for the next 5 hours?
Just keep on doing what we're doing. We have plans, we have options, we keep on trying them all, and we're going to keep trying until the end.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for taking the time out with me. And back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Charlie. Now, speaking of infections and whatnot, John, how's that rash doing? Did it clear up for you?
It's better. Thanks for bringing it up live on air.
The cream helps. So we're going to give you a scoring update.
You jackass.
Starting with the third place, Townsend University is in third place. Moving up in the rankings, Radford University, their first year in the competition, is in second place.
Is that a switch? Did they switch places? So Radford passed
one
Townsend?
move up, yeah, one move up, one went down.
Wow.
Yes.
That's good.
So in first place is Millersville University, still able to overcome some of their technical difficulties that they had.
All right, so whenever we come back, we're going to take a break, and we're going to have another CEO segment whenever we return from the break. We're going to go through, and we're going to see how did the teams do.
Yeah, with their reports.
With their reports going back to Costas.
Yes.
So let's wrap it up, and we'll be back at the top of the hour, folks. Take care.
Thank you.